What's up YouTube, it's your boy Lito, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today's video I'm going to react to King Von story that is too deep for Netflix. Without further ado, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. Let's get into it.
Say around 5 in the morning on February 5th, Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Derek Banks, and his co-defendant Devontae Bennett were seen on camera involved in Alexander Witherspoon.
Cause y'all let me go to my Valentine's Day. You like going to jail?
Three-year-old men are recovering after they were shot just before noon today. Police say all three were standing near 63rd and King Drive.
Put your other hand on top of your head, please.
But out here?
What?
For what?
You too, I hate it like this, partner.
Every year, Netflix allows voting for future documentaries, but they didn't allow anything King Von related. One tweet read, "King Von's really the only guy who committed so many crimes several years ago, all documented on social media. Yet the feds are only now finding out he's guilty, as this answers why Netflix can't cover the crime-riddled life of King Von. Ever since King Von passed in 2020, the police solved 5 cold cases in Chicago using new technology and found that King Von was in all of them, starting with the famous 2014 case in Englewood. King Von and a man named Big Mike went to a birthday party on Chicago's South Side. Suddenly, firearms were heard in the area. Police later charged Davon Bennett, also known as King Von. They charged him with first degree and 2 counts of attempted in connection with that incident. This was the biggest case of his early life. King Von was just 19 at the time, and Big Mike actually flipped to snitch against King Von. This case took years to reach a verdict. Police reports note a witness saw King Von and Big Mike creeping up to the birthday party. They jumped the fence and instantly used their firearms at the party. Caught in the middle of it was Malcolm Stuckey, a 19-year-old college student and aspiring basketball player. Big Mike confirmed the witness's statement. When trial finally came, something unusual happened. King Von and Mike were tried at the same time, but not together, meaning the prosecutors had to prove their case to 2 separate juries. By the end of the 2 cases, the outcomes were different. Big Mike was found guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm tied to one of the survivors, and later got it reduced on appeal. King Von was found not guilty on every charge. The judge noted Bennett was acquitted of all charges. He walked out a free man, and it changed his life for the better. In 2020, King Von released a song which spoke on the case, as he dissed Mike for snitching and revealed the truth. Interestingly enough, Von used this case to show how hard he truly was. While being arrested for a separate incident, he told the cops about how he just beat a case.
I cuffed him this way because
Cause y'all let me go to my Valentine's Day.
You like going to jail?
I just got to jail. You don't know me, that's what I'm saying.
What were you like up for?
Like a body into a tilt.
I'm sorry? You want it, you gotta have it.
While this was great for King Von and his fans, it only led to him committing more crimes that he got away with. King Von's 2019 case would have put Lil Durk in prison if he didn't pass. In February 2019, a man got hit up near a restaurant in Atlanta known as the Varsity. Jewelry, cash, and a Jeep was taken. Through local security camera footage and anonymous tips, the feds charged King Von and Durk for the crime. As a detective testified, that video shows Lil Durk firing from a moving vehicle and puts King Von in the car with him. As police body cam footage caught the moment King Von was arrested for the crime.
Put your other hand on top of your head, please.
But out here?
What?
For what? Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just stay safe. We're gonna just change it. You too, I hate it like this, partner. You ain't never give me no hard time. Hey man, when you can't explain to your aunt, man, like it's not, we don't know what your case is. We just people to come pick you up. Right.
A week later, they both received bond, as Durk bonded out for $250,000 and Von for $300,000. With King Von later passing in November of 2020, it completely changed the case, as it was held at a standstill for nearly 2 years. In October 2022, Fulton County prosecutors dropped all charges against Durk, as they quoted it was in the interest of justice. This is mainly due to King Von's file never getting to a jury. The case would have normally gone to trial in 2024, but with King Von gone, they assumed him to be responsible and let Lil Durk off for free. But new disturbing information has Lil Durk ordering the hit of King Von, because there's a member of OTF named Vonnie. He's currently snitching against Lil Durk in another case that's ongoing. However, Vonnie's father revealed in an interview that Lil Durk supposedly backdoored King Von to prevent the Varsity case from going to trial. I know how it sounds, but this new evidence lines up perfectly.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a backdoor and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, is it open? Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Von? Like King Von?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, was it open? This is what he asked him. Was it open? This was his exact words. Was it open? He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right in there.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Dirk before, who told on Von before he.
Academics was confused why Dirk would want Von gone, which is when Vonnie's father explained the case and how it was in Dirk's best interest to take out Von. Not to mention Von was never signed to Lil Durk. So with King Von starting to overtake him in rap popularity, he could have got jealous of Von's success.
Why would Dirk want Von?
All right, man. Let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table when I pass you up? Don't nobody want their cheap spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
Dude was
thing.
a select. He was signed to boys. He was Von wasn't no select.
That's interesting. I did find out that Von didn't have any contractual ties to Dirk like that, which was interesting.
I mean, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He got a public defender."
Court files suggest this case was closed privately, meaning Lil Durk likely made some sort of deal with the courts and placed the blame on Von. Although Vonnie's father wasn't done yet, Vonnie's father reveals Vonnie allegedly orchestrated Lil Pap and King Von's passing.
Oh no, he ain't take my rights. He ain't respond no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches of paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches? What?
Was it you that said that with the whole narrative about Vonnie snitching with the text messages? Like that's
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
But that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and and with me saying Von, some people like, damn, what he gonna tell on some words on Von?
I ain't gonna lie, I said that in my video. I'm intrigued to know what the Von name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Von. You gonna tell it just like you orchestrated Lil Pap. You orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
The passing of Lil Pab is the current case that Lil Durk is facing life in prison for. However, King Von's name was all over the passing of FBG Duck. On August 4th in the afternoon, FBG Duck and his girlfriend parked on Oak Street in downtown Chicago. He stepped out and got in line for a luxury store. Once Duck was spotted out in public, members of OTF alerted the rest of O Block. As cameras caught members sprinting down the stairwell and racing out of the Parkway Garden apartment buildings, also known as O Block. Cameras captured both a Ford Fusion and a Chrysler 300 rushing to downtown Chicago. These men didn't want to lose the opportunity to take out Duck. However, a string of city cameras and license plate readers followed the car's path all the way from O Block to Oak Street. At 4:26 p.m., both cars stopped in front of Duck's vehicle. Two men hopped out of the Fusion and Chrysler and lit up FBG Duck before quickly speeding off. Duck and another person ducked behind the car. His girlfriend was hit in the wrist, and another friend was hit 3 times. It was clear that Duck was the target, as police reported he was hit 16 times. And we later saw King Von be interviewed by DJ Academics.
Were you saddened by the news that he was then?
By DJ Academics.
Were you saddened by the news that he was then?
Man, I heard it. I didn't go to sleep that night. I couldn't believe it. Hold on, man. Oh, let's talk about some other.
Investigators counted 38 shell casings at the scene. For a long time, no arrests were made in connection to the crime. That was until detectives tracked the cars all throughout the city. The craziest part was that the O Block members didn't care one bit. Right after they finished the hit, they drove back home and parked their cars like normal. They figured the crime would fly under the radar like a lot of other Chicago hits. However, with it taking place in Chicago's luxury shopping spot of the city, they had to find who was responsible. Later on, the O Block 6 were arrested, consisting of C, Kenny Mac, Los, C Thang, Muop, and THF Chef Teasy. All of these guys had something in common. They were all gifted diamond chains from King Von, which led prosecutors to believe King Von spent the $128,000 on the pendants as rewards for the crimes each member did. On August 14th, just 10 days after Duck's passing, Icebox released a video of King Von buying the chains. Later evidence came out in January 2023. The Chicago Sun-Times reported that police records from weeks after the incident contained an informant who claimed Duck had a price on his head. The informant stated someone from the Black Disciple Street team offered $50,000 for Duck, which later increased to $100,000. In 2024, trials for the suspects that took out Duck were held. Obviously, there was never a full-on announcement about King Von's involvement since he had passed only months after Duck did, but he's believed to be the one who ordered it. However, the updated evidence of cases against King Von weren't the only things released to the public this week. His own actual file how he passed was released. In these files, it begins with the police being told by a nurse at the hospital that King Von was alive in the hospital after making it through 2 surgeries. However, while he was waiting on a 3rd surgery, he suddenly passed when someone walked in the room and startled him.
And Von made it through 2 surgeries. He had 3 surgeries ago. He made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the 2nd surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said where his gun at. And he went and he died because he went into shock. So he was making 2 surgeries. How hours later, Kayla know, he fought the nurse. She the one told me that. His mama didn't even know that. How you knowing what's going on inside the hospital? Because
she was there at the hospital.
To add on to the conspiracy that Dirk ordered King Von's hit, one of Von's close friends named Balo spoke about how Von's hired bodyguards completely left the scene once the brawl broke out.
His security guard let him walk. You get paid he get paid to protect. How the f you let him walk over and fight? You ain't even supposed to let him fight. He ain't supposed to be touching nobody. Security guard, if anything, you make sure Quando them leave. Whoever else they was with, you make sure they leave. How you let him walk over somebody that's the reason y'all here, the reason everybody in this parking lot here, because this man right here making the money and y'all his entourage. But that security guard, it's something fishy with him. That's why he deleted his Instagram. I definitely feel like it's foul play. I don't know where it's coming from, but I definitely feel like it's some weird shit going on.
The police body cam footage shows Von's friends but not one single bodyguard. But to understand it all, we need to review the police file on King Von's passing, as they detailed how the entire night went down. On November 5th, 2020, Von and his crew were headed to a club to celebrate his album's release party. The night was supposed to be a massive celebration for King Von, but no one knew it would be so short-lived. With King Von having a troubled past, he knew the risks of being out in public, which is why he had the best security out of nearly any rapper and had a crew of 20+ members with him. Even Von's manager spoke on the extreme measures he took regarding security.
I travel with one security that moves with Von, and he traveled with 2 more security. You know what I'm saying? Von traveled in a proof truck, and not only that, his guys are security, man. He travels with 10 to 15 guys daily. They protect and love Von more than any security would. I think we're about 8-10 cars deep, 20-25 on entourage.
For unknown reasons, King Von didn't act like himself on this night and would later act out, putting his life in jeopardy. However, the party inside the club was going great. Everybody was having a good time, and the party came to an end at 2:30 in the morning. The plan was for them to return back to their hotels for the night, but Von suddenly switched it last minute.
Everybody mind leaving the club is that we're going to the hotel and the Airbnb, because that's normal routine. The club he went to, the after hours, wasn't getting paid for. I didn't have no acknowledgement of. His team didn't have no acknowledgement of. That was a complete Von decision.
With the whole crew heading to the Airbnb, King Von told his driver to go to another club called the Monaco Lounge, which was the first decision of many that Von made that led to his passing.
So everybody else that was with us driving to the Airbnb, and Von literally went to the venue by himself. We got a call later from people in the car, like, hey bro, we here by, matter of fact, I think from his DJ was like, hey bro, you know we here by ourselves, like, where you guys at? And everybody rerouted to that venue.
For an unknown reason, the people in Von's truck didn't notify the rest of the team until they got to Monaco, so the rest of them turned their cars around and headed for the new club. Thankfully, the team made it there in time, but his manager knew something was wrong. He noticed that Von wasn't happy. Typically, he'd be energetic and outgoing, but he was quiet and sitting in the back of his truck on his phone.
For some reason, Von wasn't himself. This man is like, I promise you, the best artist I ever moved in my life. For some reason that night, it was off. Like, he stayed in the car for like 30-35 minutes.
His manager finally got him to agree to go into the club after 30 minutes. However, with Von's security protocol, they sent in a couple guys first to clear the club and make sure it was safe.
I went to the car he was in. I was like, yo, Von. Went inside the passenger seat. I'm like, yo, Von, bro, what's going on? Like, everybody here waiting, let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. We're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Von's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside the club. They checked the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no.
They never expected the real danger would be out in the parking lot, because while some of his team is clearing the club, another member is just walking around outside. Suddenly, he noticed Quando Rondo and his team were sitting in a white SUV, so he immediately went to tell King Von. In case you're unaware, King Von and Quando Rondo's teams had been beefing for months leading up to this encounter. There was a lot of animosity towards each other.
Now, right before we go inside the club, one of his homeboys, he came to the car and said, "Hey, so-and-so's here." And Von just jumped up like, "Oh, come on, let's go."
Once Von found out, he jumped up instantly and wanted to confront Quando. It's the reason you see King Von in the white outfit walk in front of Quando's vehicle to go after him. Von's team tried to calm him down, but it didn't stop him.
He jumped out the car. By the time Von jumped out the car, I don't even think he knew where so-and-so was. He just jumped out the car. He bumped into so-and-so. As soon as he bumped into so-and-so, started brawling.
After the brawl was going on for a couple seconds, Quando's friend Lil Tim decided it was enough. It was completely unnecessary in the moment since they could have just split the two up, but Tim came out from the backside of the white car and hit King Von multiple times with a firearm. Tim also hit Von's manager once in the leg on accident. Some of Von's members were strapped, so they retaliated on Tim, which led out to a huge altercation in the middle of the street. The noise of clips rang throughout the city, which alerted off-duty officers to the scene, as they joined in and ended one of King Von's friends in the process. While this all happens, King Von and Quando Rondo lay beside each other on the street. People online believe Quando was trying to snatch Von's chain before fleeing the area, but Von's manager believes Von was holding Quando there to shield himself.
And was he trying to take Von's chain, or?
Honest truth, I don't think V-Roy had no jewelry on, and from the people that was a little bit closer, Von was actually holding onto him like, "Man, you ain't going nowhere. Like, you here, like, even through getting he's that strong. Like, he was literally holding him."
With people slowly fleeing the scene and calming down, Quando Rondo and his team jumped in their white car and headed for the hospital. At the same time, King Von's team were rushing to save him. His close friend Muop ran out into the street, picked up Von, and brought him to the getaway vehicle. They sped to the hospital, and in the meantime, King Von was assuring everybody in the car that he'd be okay, which shows how much of a leader that King Von was for his team.
When he was in the car, I myself wasn't there. The gentleman that was in the car with him was panicking, and Von was the one that was like, "Hey, calm down, slow down, chill, I'm gonna be good, just get him to the hospital." And honest truth, we all thought that the way he was carrying himself, from that incident, from what I was told from the people in the car, that he would have been fine.
However, after having 2 surgeries, he got startled by the nurse coming in and passed away. People close to the situation claim Von was looking for his firearm, but he never had one. This was new information, so people wonder how Boozy knew about the firearm in an interview from 2 years ago.
I mean, like you said, the King Von situation, like there was absolutely no reason for Von to be rolling around with that dude. Like, there was no, especially since he had security, like, you know, someone should have jumped in. It should never even.
King,
I almost feel like, but I almost feel like if you have real security,
all of them is supposed to blast. I feel like they would have been more ready in Chicago.
Sad, man, sad. I mean, the whole King Von thing is really kind of hanging
me up,
over
bro.
everyone right now.
That f me up, bro.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
I like King Von.
The news of King Von passing quickly hit headlines.
This made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
2 groups of individuals got into a physical altercation. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange of guns.
Knowing Quando and Lil Tim were responsible, everyone awaited their interviews to speak on King Von passing, as Quando would say.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out, or whatever. Like, they could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
But even Lil Tim spoke, as he's the one that actually did it.
No, like, shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, yeah, I ain't know the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't know no disrespect to like his mama saying him like that, because I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type.
I'm a humble person, but it's like they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
You might be wondering why Tim is still free. The following day, after recovering in the hospital, he was charged for taking out King Von. However, after multiple court dates and hiring a lawyer, they claimed Tim acted in self-defense and they dropped the charges against him. Tim's lawyer confirmed this by saying the case against Lil Tim was dismissed before ever being indicted. However, those close to Von knew they had to do something about it. This is what led to a major hit on Quando's crew a year later.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles and cameras captured the aftermath.
This resulted in Quando's friend Lil Pab being taken out, as Durk wanted to show that you can't mess around with those close to him and get away with it. Durk even had lyrics from a feature he did that resembled how Quando reacted to the hit. As he rapped the lyrics, "Look on the news and see your son screaming no." Durk was happy to see that Quando experienced the same feelings that Durk did the year prior.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
He later dropped a diss track hinting that he got someone hit. As he rapped the lyrics, "They like Durk, he a singer, he won't do something. You can believe whatever you want. I got your folks hit." People wonder if Durk only retaliated on Quando's crew because he thought it would look suspicious if he didn't. He could have been worried that people would uncover he was behind.
Stop it right there, YouTube. If you made this far, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. To the next one.